Hey, I'm Lindsay Lyman. I worked almost 12 years at Amazon and saw so many brilliant and successful overachievers burn themselves out and leave their jobs because they're so stressed and anxious. But guess what? Having a successful career does not have to be at the expense of your mental sanity and personal time. There's an easier way, and I can show you how. Let's do this. Hey friends, how's it going? Today, I want to answer a couple of questions that are trending right now and really popular on the Blind app. If you're not familiar with what Blind is, their tagline is Blind, the #1 tech career community. Join millions of verified employees at the largest tech companies. Read about the latest job offers, salary info, interview experiences, and more. Basically, Blind is an app that verifies the registered users have to work at an actual company. They verify your account through your work email, but they also claim that your identity is not traceable. So it's an anonymous forum and community where people go and discuss all sorts of different things. So with that, there's definitely some trolls, some people in there that are complaining or purposely trying to plant things, but it can also be a really helpful place. I know as a lot of these tech companies were going through layoffs, Blind was a centralized place. People were going to access information because employees were publishing information as they found out, and it kind of became this centralized repository for others to stay informed. I should also note, this is not sponsored or in partnership with Blind. This is just me wanting to help answer a few of the really popular trending questions that people are asking and kind of give you how I would answer these questions as a coach to hopefully help give another perspective on some of these things I think a lot of us struggle with. So these posts I'm going to be addressing are all trending, very hot topics, lots of engagement, and I think relevant to a lot of you here. So this first one is titled Forte Anxiety. Forte is a tool at Amazon that you use to provide feedback if you're not familiar with that. Here's what the post says. I know Forte is just a tool to share feedback and for a discussion, but every time I think of my meeting with my manager for Forte this week, I want to throw up. I'm 90% sure I will get a, quote, needs improvement rating based on my work in 2022. My project alignment has changed this year, so my work has already improved in the first quarter, and my manager constantly acknowledges this with me in my one-on-ones. But last year was not a great year for me at all. I know Forte doesn't mean more than the combo, but my anxiety is taking over. I'm nervous about how poorly I'll take it, which sounds so stupid when I write it out, but I've been so stressed out since coming to Amazon, and this feels like a big whammy on my morale for some reason. Any kind words are appreciated. Right now, there's a little over 70 different comments, and they range from some people just being really rude. But overall, the main theme is people trying to make this employee feel better, saying, it's okay, don't worry about it, focus on what you're doing now. And those things are all really great and helpful. And something I would say if I was answering this friend to friend. But if I'm going to answer this question as your coach, here's how I would approach this. First, we got to really acknowledge what is going on here. So if we look at the circumstance of what's going on, you have a meeting coming up this week with your manager to discuss your Forte feedback. As your coach, I'm going to ask you, okay, how are you feeling about this? What are you making it mean? From this post, I get that you're feeling really anxious about it. And that anxiety is coming because you keep thinking you're going to get a needs improvement rating and you shouldn't. Okay? That thought, thinking this isn't going to go well. This isn't how I want it to go. I know last year wasn't good and I don't want to talk about it. That is what is creating that anxiety. If you had this Forte meeting on the books and you were convinced you were going to get an achieves or exceeds rating, my guess is you wouldn't be feeling anxious. The anxiety isn't coming from this meeting on your calendar. It's coming from what you're making it mean. It sounds like you're making it mean this isn't going to go well. I'm going to get a bad rating and I shouldn't. So when we're feeling anxious, you mentioned you feel like you want to throw up. You're really worried about it. You're worried how you're going to take it, how you're going to handle it. Most likely you're judging yourself for it. You're stressed out and you're asking for help. Totally fine. Makes sense. When we are anxious, these are very common things we do. But when that's what you're doing because you're feeling anxious because you keep thinking, I'm going to get a needs improvement and I shouldn't, what that is creating for you is your inability to deal with what is. And it's causing you to quote unquote need some improvement on your mental health. You get that you've already turned things around. You've worked it out with your manager. You're on the right trajectory. Things are heading in the direction you want, but you're not managing the emotional side of what happened in 2022. So as your friend, I would say, yeah, don't worry about it. It's just Forte. You've turned it all around. As your coach, I'm going to say, no, let's go all in. We need to feel anxious. You cannot intellectualize your way out of a biological challenge here. You are freaking out. The reason I can tell we need to go and feel anxious is because you said these words. I know, but that is a key phrase for any of you out there. If you hear yourself telling a story and you're like, I know Forte is just a tool to share feedback, but I'm super anxious. What that's telling us is intellectually you get it, emotionally we are stuck in panic mode. Go be anxious. Go feel it. Go think about that meeting. You're already feeling all of that anxiety and the words haven't even come out of your manager's mouth yet. But we know what's going to happen. Stop resisting it. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to feel disappointed. It's okay to feel frustrated, annoyed, embarrassed, whatever it is. I'm going to give you one quick way to allow this anxiety to biologically pass through your body. Okay, you've got to relax and be willing to sit in it for it to pass through and for your brain and your body to get to a point to say, look, we're going to have this meeting. It's not going to be my favorite. I know how it's going to go. I can hear the feedback and I can keep moving on. Okay, you can get yourself to that point once you've allowed the anxiety. What I would offer to you, employee, feeling this anxiety, or any of you out there, is what they call the physiological sigh. You can go out and watch the YouTube clips on this or Google it because there's a ton of data and science around it. But in essence, this physiological sigh has proven scientific data behind it to help your body relax and calm down when you are feeling stress and anxious. Remember, you can't logically get out of anxiety. You have to learn how to relax into it. The physiological sigh is a great way to do that. The way you do it is you take 2 short breaths in through your nose and 1 longer breath out through your mouth. You go, okay, and you do that over and over and over again, thousands of times a day if you need. But what you're going to find on that exhale is where you're starting to relax into it. So as this meeting comes up on your calendar, you're going to feel anxious because you believe biologically this is going to be dangerous. This isn't going to be fun. And guess what? You're right. You can't logically convince yourself this is going to be a great meeting. It's okay. Take that deep sigh and relax into it. Allow it to be. You will get through this. What you resist will persist. So your friends are going to try to convince you it's okay. As your coach, I'm here to tell you, listen to your body. Listen to your brain. Let's go feel anxiety. That is how we get on the other side of it. We can't shove it down and pretend it's not there. You are anxious. Makes sense. You know what else this anxiety is telling us? You really care about your work. You want to do a good job. And you didn't feel that 2022 was your best work. So of course it feels terrible. This is a good thing. We don't want to lose this part of you. It means you're amazing at what you do and you have passion and integrity in your work. The currency to that is sometimes we feel anxious. Okay? Go feel it. Okay, this next one, the comments are, they're a lot is what I will say. There's some funny ones and some really rude ones. I'm like, y'all, be nice. But the title of it is, My Wife Gives All Excuses Not to Work. How do I handle? Here's what the post reads. Tell me if I'm being unreasonable and I shall correct myself. I'm on an H-1B and my wife is on an H-4 EAD. Those are types of visas that they're working in the United States on. I have ambitions in life and my wife just sits at home. Yes, she does all housework and cooks me food, but I don't have an appreciation for that. I think if she does a job, we can hire someone to do all the chores. Before marriage, she convinced me that she doesn't like to sit home and will do something. However, she has no career ambitions now. Yes, we have a child at home, and yes, she takes good care of him, but I didn't sign up for a middle-class life. I want to buy a home, have a good car, travel the world. Her conversations are about YouTube videos and all stupid things. On top, she fights with me. I snore at night and she wakes me up and fights. I need some guidance. I'm not happy. This is already my second marriage, arranged. I am her second husband too. She has no father and mother, so she is stuck with me and I am stuck with her. How to handle? Okay, as you can imagine, there's a lot of comments in there about male privilege and entitlement. But as your coach, I'm not here to tell you your beliefs or thoughts are right or wrong. I'm here to help you understand why you feel stuck and explore some opportunities for you to figure out how to move forward, okay? So again, first we got to really understand what's going on. Why are you feeling so frustrated? If we're looking at the circumstance of your wife and how she's spending her time during the day, the reason you're feeling frustrated isn't because of what she is and is not doing. It's because of the meaning you're giving to it. Right now, you have a lot of thoughts around the things she does during the day you don't appreciate and you don't think are important. You have thoughts like she has no career ambitions and she should. You're allowed to think those thoughts. You really are. But when you think of her and how she's spending her time, those thoughts are what are making you feel frustrated. And when you're frustrated, what do? You judge her. You notice all the things she's doing and not doing, and you judge them. You made a comment about her conversation is about things that you are judging as stupid. You judge yourself. The very first thing you said in this post was, tell me if I'm being unreasonable. When you're feeling frustrated, you're also spending a lot of your time trying to feel justified in proving yourself right into why you should be frustrated, and you're allowed to. But when you're judging her and judging yourself and spending time obsessing over how you have permission to be frustrated, all that's creating for you in life is to be miserable and just feel stuck. As your coach, it is not my job to tell you what to do and what not to do. My job is to help you understand and feel more empowered to really own the frustration is coming from you. It was interesting in the comments. There was even someone else that commented and said, wow, I have the opposite problem. My wife is so ambitious and she works all the time and she's never around and never home, because their thought is she's not home and I want her to be home. Your thought is she's home and I don't want her to be home. Neither of those spouses are right or wrong. They are thoughts that make you feel a certain way. What I want you to realize is that your brain is lying to you. Your brain is telling you if you can change your wife and how she's spending her time, you're going to feel better. But that's not going to make you feel better. Your wife right now could secretly be working and making tons of money and having this career while you're at work that you know nothing about. She could be doing that right now. It's not making you feel better. It's not making you feel happy because her actions have zero impact on you until you give them a meaning. So here's what I like to play with. If she did go out and get a job, you might feel happier, but not because of how she's spending her time, but because now instead of thinking the thought, she's wasting her time, she doesn't have career ambition, you're thinking the thought, she's making money. This is going to make my life better. She has ambition. I like this. Your thoughts shifted, which is why your feelings would change. Let's just play around with for a minute. If she did go out and do exactly what you wanted, if your wife could change however you wanted her to, what would be different for you? What would you be feeling and why? My guess is you may be feeling more connected and more loved. But again, I want you to realize it's not because she changed her actions. It would be because you changed your thoughts. Then I would want to talk with you and understand, why do we not believe those thoughts today? Why are we choosing not to believe them? Sometimes when I have relationships that I'm really struggling with and just really frustrated with the person, one of the things I like to do that helps me get to thoughts that feel more connecting and loving is to find ways we are exactly the same. It could be things like, we are both so annoyed with each other. We both love this kid and want to take care of him. We both are really passionate and strongly believe we are right. We're so much the same. We both keep wanting to change the other person and it's just not working. Seeing how we're both the same sometimes helps us see we're on the same side. We want the same thing. How we go about it, we don't agree on, but we do want the same thing. It can just lower some of that opposition and help us connect to say we are both in this together. The other thing I would offer to you to think about is, aside from trying to focus on thoughts where you can see how you guys are both the same, I noticed in the comments, the person that posted this added a comment where he stated that she's just ungrateful. Again, a lot of people in the comments are trying to prove you wrong, but this is a thought you believe. Intellectually, I'm guessing your brain has so much evidence of this thought. When people try to tell you that you're wrong, your brain digs its heels in and believes it even more. But here's what I would offer you to manage your brain and shift it to. Let's just say, okay, maybe she is ungrateful. Maybe she's not. We are not the grateful police. We have no way of knowing what's going on in her brain. But what we can tell is what's going on in your brain. You noticing that she's ungrateful is a sign that you are ungrateful. I got some good news for you. You know what's so much easier than changing your wife? Changing you. Let's let your wife be her, and let's think, what are you grateful for? Focusing on you and what you want is how you're going to know what to do to get unstuck, to get out of this. Maybe you do need to change your relationships. Maybe you guys do need to work through some things. Maybe you do need to get divorced. Maybe you need to stick together. I don't know. But what I do know is trying to figure it out through frustration is never going to work. If you were feeling so connected and so grateful and continued to try to work at this, I promise you would find steps forward. Is it going to be easy? No. Are you still going to be frustrated at times? 100%. But feeling frustrated because you're moving progress forward is so much more empowering than feeling frustrated because you're just staying stuck and feeling justified and validated in how you are feeling. So remember, the reason you're feeling frustrated is because of the thoughts you have. And you're allowed to have them. But you can also manage your brain and choose to redirect your thoughts to ones that feel more empowering, more connected. Remind yourself of what you are grateful for and how the two of you are just the same as starters. This last one is more of just kind of a point I want to make. It's something I caution all of us as we consume social media and podcasts and entertainment in different ways. But this one's titled Amazon Work Culture. It says, today, I want to share my experience of Amazon's work culture. I lost few years of my life working hard for this company that puts you and your colleagues in a rat race. I lost my soul, my health, and began to feel useless. Amazon's culture makes you spineless in the name of feedback, improvement, and LPs. I quit, but I wanted to share. They pay less for the damage caused to your life and future. Now, what I thought was interesting in this, most of the posts get a couple hundred views, usually is when they start to trend. This one had over 5,000 views. It had 200 likes and 108 comments. The main theme of the comments was jumping in to this cesspool of this is a terrible work culture. And I'm not here to say that's wrong or bad or no, that's not the case at all. And in my 12 years experience at Amazon, I could jump into this conversation in a lot of ways as well. But here's where I would caution you. Choose what you are putting into your brain. The eye finds what the mind sees. To this person, I would say, I am so sorry. It sounds like it was really hard. You're amazing, and I'm so excited for you that you got out and you found something else. And I would also say, I'm guessing your new job's going to be amazing and it's going to be hard. Learning to manage stress and frustration is homework for life. Change what you can. Change jobs, change teams, change managers, whatever you can do to set yourself up for success. But you also have to learn to manage the stress and the culture, to create the kind of culture you want, to not play the game, to show up and be the kind of human you want to be, because we all make up the culture. And for those of us reading this and participating and joining in, be careful what you put into your brain. Choose what you put into your brain on purpose. This is why if you watch news all day, you are going to be depressed, because it's constant doom and gloom, because that's what grabs our attention. You can go out there and find a lot of people for just about any company that will love to get together and bash on it and talk about how toxic and horrible the work culture is. And I'm not saying there's not some truth to that. And there's definitely things we need to keep working on as humans to change. But what I would offer to you is those changes aren't going to come through anger and resentment and frustration. They're going to come through commitment, focus, devotion, openness, hopefulness, love, patience, kindness, understanding, curiosity. Just like we obsess over what types of nutrients we put into our body, obsess over what type of information you're putting into your brains. Getting together and bashing on things and obsessing over how horrible and scary and terrible it is doesn't make you feel good. It doesn't add to the collective good. It doesn't solve the problem. It just gives you permission to feel terrible. Guess what? You've got permission. You don't need anyone else's support to go and do that. Allow yourself to feel terrible and then go put some good things into your brain. Go put some good music. Go listen to nature. Listen to an uplifting podcast or a book or some great entertainment. But fill your brain on purpose with things that uplift you equally, if not more, than those things that drain your energy. All right, y'all. Managing your emotional health is the key to making it. The economy will change. Pandemics will come and go. Recessions will come and go. Relationships will come and go. Your ability to deal with all of it is what will build a fulfilling, fun, amazing, challenging, resilient life. Learning how to manage your emotions and to keep showing up as you is the secret to living that full life. All right, you're amazing. You got this. We'll talk soon. If what you're learning from this podcast is helping, this is just the beginning. Each week, I offer a limited number of coffee chats so that you and I can connect one-on-one and talk specifically about what's going on for you. You'll leave this call feeling more hopeful and motivated, but I'm also going to teach you a few things to try right away to get unstuck. Space is very limited and these are free, so grab your spot before they're gone. Click the link in the show notes or go to lindsaylymancoaching.com/chat and sign up today. You got this.